So yeah, I'm Calum. I was in tech sales and I got on my first offer on the side of my 9 to 5 in December, just over 5k there on the side of my role, and then last month 8.9k. So busy at work as well, but I just made it happen, made it work. The offer owner said, listen guys, I want you guys to come out to Miami, work with us, and it was literally, I'm not even joking mate, 3rd of January, they messaged me and my flight was that night.
Wow.
Got on the flight, arrived there, and then it was just flat out for 2 weeks. A lot of corporate sales guys will be thinking, I'm good at sales. You're not. This type of selling is just completely different.
Why did you decide to come on board? Because you were skeptical.
That's why I even considered it, right? I just knew I was playing it safe in terms of like what I wanted for me, and deep down, it was an itch that I needed to scratch. At the end of the day, what's more scary, right? Not taking the risk of investing in yourself or having that massive bill for regret. If I really knuckle down now, in 2 months' time, where the fuck could I be? And I guess that's what we're going to find out, right? Because I've seen what is capable and what I can achieve if I put everything into this. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
And we are back in the room. Very, very excited for this one. And look, to be honest with you, don't be surprised if you see me and Calum do another one of these in probably 3-4 months because of the numbers that he's going to do. However, the big reason that I wanted to really hop on and do this interview for Calum, for myself, and for everyone that's going to be watching is to give you guys an insight as to what is possible doing this alongside your 9 to 5 sales role. And also from someone who was in a very, very good corporate sales role who still did this on the side, and what he was able to do. So it's going to be an exciting one. Gal, if you want to give them a run through who you are, what you were doing prior to joining Capital Closer, and what you sort of cleared last month in commissions, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, of course, mate. So yeah, I'm Calum. I was in tech sales. I was an account manager. Well, new business account manager. And I kind of led up a whole new business sales team. I took the leap after a interesting call with Jerry, one of the guys inside, one of the coaches inside. And yeah, I gave it everything for about 3 months. I joined my first role kind of in December. So I joined in, I want to say September or October time, end of October. And then I got on my first offer on the side of my 9 to 5 in December, did just over 5k there on the side of my role. And then last month, I did 8.9k, and obviously I spent a lot of that time in Miami.
What do you mean? Obviously, you've got to share. You've got to share that.
Yeah. So basically, what happened? What do you want me to say? Like everything from the start.
Well, I mean, yeah, a little bit, because I think everyone's a bit like, wait, why are you in Miami? I thought you were in a job.
Yeah. So what happened, right? From the very beginning. I was just looking to make some money on the side of my role, right? I had the belief in myself. I kind of saw what was possible. I was very skeptical at the start. And I came on and I thought, you know what? Connor's completely right. It's ugly, right? In the winter period, it's ugly. Every time I get home, I'm just going to be, doing nothing. I might as well push myself to the absolute limits, operate at like the highest capacity, learn the skill, see what I can do. And then if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? And that was kind of my mindset. And I got on this role in December, and I was so busy at work as well, but I just made it happen, made it work. And I managed to do 5k. I pushed everything to get that 5k on this offer that wasn't even, amazing. And then from there, I got from the recruiters board as well. From the recruiters board on the inside of the program, I got a massive offer, which was a big launch. And I got that kind of a week before January. And we had a week intensive training session, which worked quite nicely because that's when everything died down in corporate sales. So I had that week off anyway. So I did that intensive training program for this big launch, and I was all ready to go. And I had an honest conversation with my organization at the time and said, listen, I've got a massive opportunity. I want to take a few weeks off holiday at the start of January just to give everything into this because it's a huge opportunity and I could potentially make a lot of money. And I just want to see if I'm capable of doing it, right? I did that. They said yes because we got a really, really good relationship. And within 3 days into January, I collected the most amount of money on the offer, and there was about 14 closers. And they took the top performers, about 5 of us, out to Miami, straight away and said, the offer owner said, listen guys, I want you guys to come out, work with us for essentially what was meant to be a week, and we'll put you up in an Airbnb, we'll fly you out, give you everything that you need, and yeah, you can just operate here, and because we want to be with you guys. And I obviously, being me, was like 100%, I'm off. And it was literally, I'm not even joking, mate, 3rd of January, they messaged me, and my flight was that night.
Wow.
Literally, it was a turnaround in a matter of hours. And I literally packed everything, drove straight to Heathrow, got on the flight, arrived there, and then it was just flat out for 2 weeks. Well, it was a week, and then at the end of the week, because we collected so much money, they were like, okay, we want to keep you out here for probably the whole month. And obviously I only packed for a week, so I ended up staying there, I think it was 15 days in total. Or 17 days in total, 17 days since I went there. And it was absolutely, obviously incredible, and I was like, wow, it's opened up my whole eyes. You know, I'm more than capable of doing this. The way I was operating, I finished top of the leaderboard that month. So yeah, no, I was feeling really, really good, and I came back, and then from there, the opportunities have just been absolutely crazy.
Mad. Yeah. So when you're out in Miami, then you were just obviously what was like the day to day like out there in Miami? Like, what were you doing?
Wow. So we would get there. It would be really, really hard work. We'd have our calendars open, and what we would do is we were in this massive Airbnb, which was one of the offer owner's actual homes, right? And we would essentially wake up, have like a big breakfast, they'd have everything sorted for us, and we'd have a massive team huddle. Everyone would get on the kind of the Google Meets. Our calendars would be completely full. We would have a huge team, and we would literally just take calls anywhere in the house. And then once we hit the target for the day, they'd do some crazy activity with us, which would be like, you know, we'd go out in the SVJs or the sports cars or whatever. At the end of the week, they took us to like Pappy's Steak, like an absolutely insane restaurant. We're planning on obviously going back out there kind of either this month or the next month. And yeah, so it's just that offer owner was just like, you know, they cared a lot about us, what we were doing for them. You know, if we worked really hard for them, show up for them, they'd show up for us. And that's kind of just what it was like. And yeah, we stayed in two massive villas. So 1 week was the first one, which was massive, and the second week we stayed in another villa as well. And we were going to do the third week, but we all had to get home because it was so impromptu, and we just didn't even have the facilities for it. But yeah,
you flew out there. Did you and one of the other guys from Capital Closes? Did you fly out together?
He fucked up the flight, unfortunately, so he had to get another flight. But yeah, with Billy, this is another crazy thing. I did my first mock call with Billy. So once you come inside, you essentially do really intensive training, right? You go through all of the material that you put together, and it changes everything for you, right? When you listen to that and what you kind of need to do in order to succeed within this space. And then you go on mock calls. So you actually practice the skill before you do anything, because again, the most important thing is a skill set that you learn. And a lot of corporate sales guys will be thinking, you know, I'm good at sales. You're not. This type of selling is just completely different, and the skill is, you can't even fathom it until you experience it yourself, like what it actually is. And I did thousands of mock calls, like thousands. And Billy was one of the guys that I used to do mock calls really regularly with. And because I got this opportunity, I brought him on as one of the SDRs, one of the people that books the appointments. And because of that, I said to Billy, I said to the offer owner, you know, this guy's really, really good. He's going to be with me. And they were like, bring him to Miami as well. So he came out for the whole time. As well, which was just insane. And he was obviously on the side of his role as well. He just took the holiday and he came out. And yeah, no, it changed everything for Billy as well in terms of his perspective, his mindset.
I feel like for both you and obviously Billy as well, like it's not just the income side of things that's just completely changed and skyrocketed, but I think it's just like everything, the mindset, the lifestyle, the freedom, and just like, I think the understanding of like what is so capable within this industry. And I think that was where you had such a great corporate sales role prior. I think having that trip probably opened your eyes in terms of like, yeah, granted, I finished on 8.9k, and like obviously I know for a fact by the end of the year you'll clear 25, 30, 35k a month, if not more. I know that for a fact. But it's like, it just makes you realise, like, wow, these businesses, and look, of course, there's great ones and there's bad ones, like anything in life, but where you're a sales rep in these types of businesses, you're actually quite close to the founder. Like, you're messaging, you're speaking, you're on calls most days, most of the time. And, these are people, guys, girls, either doing 7, possibly 8 figures per year in take home. And it's like, if you're performing well for them and you're showing up every single day, you almost get mentored in terms of how to think in the mental models, which is like free mentorship from these types of people. But it's also like, just they'll incentivize you, they'll compensate you. Like, maybe you get this in corporate sales if you've been there for 2, 3, 4 years and you've done all of this. It's like, it's very rare that this sort of stuff happens. I mean, how much do you think that had an impact in terms of making the decision to leave the corporate sales role and being out there? What were the realizations, more or less?
The realizations was just the vehicle that I was in. I mean, honestly, what I achieved just in that month alone, the doors that it opened, the people that I was speaking to, knowing that I had the ability to perform for these guys and then what they can give me off the back end, it just makes it a complete no-brainer. And 99% of it is just getting over the belief that it can't happen to you. That's it. It's like, it's so easy to settle and be like, oh, I'm doing well, because you typically compare yourself to people that are doing worse than you to make yourself feel better. It's a coping mechanism. But then as soon as you start comparing yourself to them, you're just not even satisfied. Like, I was out there in Miami thinking, fucking hell, I could be doing so much better than this. And it's just like, to even think about that when I was 3 months alone, like, and driving up to Manchester, driving up to London, thinking, I've got it really good now. It's just lit a fire inside of me, and it's just like, now I've got over that limiting belief that I'm only good for the UK corporate sales. It's just going to change everything, because my whole perspective of what's capable and what I can do is completely shifted, and it is just being around those kind of people and that frequency and that energy, because you're there and you're speaking to them and you're just like, there's absolutely no reason I can't be in that position. There's absolutely no reason. And the only reason I would be is if I didn't believe I could get there, and I wasn't capable of doing it. So yeah, it just opened my mind up in that perspective, for sure.
Going back to what you were doing prior, because I think for a lot of people it'd be quite interesting to give the context. Being in tech sales, leading like the sales team for a new business division and whatnot, and from a corporate world perspective, being on a very, very good income. What even caused two things really. What even caused the thought process of, hang on a second, let me do more, as opposed to doubling down and being comfortable and actually invest in myself into a skill set and join this thing and do this and get uncomfortable rather than just going through the motions? And also, what were those limiting beliefs that you had prior? Because as you said, Jerry, I think, mentioned it as well, you were skeptical. So where did that come from? Why did you have it? And how do you almost now feel now as a whole?
Such a good question. To start off with, why I even considered it is because I had an itch that I just needed to scratch, right? I just knew I was playing it safe. I just knew deep down that I was playing it safe. And although, again, I was comparing myself to people that were doing worse than me to make myself feel so better, I knew deep down, which I just refused to surface, that I wasn't reaching my potential, that I just wasn't doing everything I possibly could to get me into the situation, because I always knew, I could be capable of so many things, but I almost pigeonholed myself and was like, but I'm safe here, I'm doing well here. So yeah, as soon as I had that conversation with Jerry, as soon as I watched your content actually and understood everything that you were saying, because it resonated, right? There is long sales cycles. You are capped commissions. Every time you win a contract, it takes 2 months to pay out, if that, right? There's so many uncontrollables with it. For example, I had a 6 months deal going on, and it came to the final hurdle, and the guy just had some consultant in the inside that he didn't even tell me about within these 6 months of talking, that I traveled to London to see him 5 times, that completely, wiped out that deal. And that deal was a massive part of my year. And it's just to think about that, 6 months of my life going through that, for that, and then 28 days of holiday, 9 to 5, every single day, have to be in the office, have to travel to Manchester, have to travel to London. When I get home, all I'm thinking about is work. I'm exhausted all the time. I love the people I work with. I love the company that I work with. That wasn't the issue. But in terms of like what I wanted for me and deep down, it was an itch that I needed to scratch, and I did it. I was not going to join that call with Jerry. Genuinely was not going to join that call with Jerry. I wasn't. And then all of a sudden, something happened, some weird stuff happened. I got back in the office, I saw the notification. I was like, okay, I'll just hop on with it and see what he has to say, right? I went in, and ever since then, everything changed. Everything changed for me after I spoke to Jerry, saw what was capable.
Why did you decide to come on board? Because you were sceptical. I remember you even saying when first coaching call, I remember you spoke and you said something. You were like, oh, by the way, like I joined the other day, blah, blah, blah. You were like, yeah, I wasn't going to join. I was like, what? Like, why?
I wasn't. It's because I've seen so many ads for high ticket sales, right? Seen so many different adverts for so long. And I was always just thinking, these guys that are speaking, nothing about them shows conviction. I just don't trust them. I don't believe what they're saying. And ultimately, like, you know, it could just be like a lot of other things that you hear in the UK. And Connor, I genuinely couldn't tell you. I came on board because of the conviction that you had when I watched your videos. I resonated with it so much. And there was just something that I was like, this guy ticks absolutely everything that I'm looking for. And he's just saying it with such conviction. Everything he's saying is backed with proof. And I got on with Jerry, and Jerry was more of the same. Leaned out, explained to me the realities of the situation. And he said, ultimately, Calum, like, it's going to come down to you. Like, do you believe in yourself? Like, ultimately, you could say it's skeptical, but how will you ever know unless you try it? And that's it. And it resonated with me so much. I was like, you're completely right. And I am just going to try it. I'm just going to see. And if it fails, you know, it fucking fails. But at the end of the day, what's more scary, right? Not taking the risk of investing in yourself or having that massive bill for regret. And that's essentially the situation.
And as well, you know, the way that we sort of do things as well, like, look, fair enough if there's a conversation, if people have been asked to quit their jobs, you know, you're doing it alongside. So worst case, you're still making your income from your account manager role. You're still making your income from your account exec role. Like, you know?
I mean, people don't even understand that. I'm making 5K on the side of what I'm already making. And then again, last month, 8.9K on the side of what I'm already making.
Yeah, so it's well over 5 figures a month combined. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You just do maths at that point, which I love. I don't love maths. I like making money, but in order to make a lot of money, you need to reverse engineer everything. And it's the financial modelling of, okay, hang on a second, what is my hourly rate? You know, I'm working 4 hours in the evenings here, but I'm making 8.9K a month, doing that 5 days a week. What is my hourly rate? Now let me figure out my 9 to 5 sales role. Okay, I made that. I put this many hours in. Oh, well, if I put double into this, I'm going to make 15K. No, look, of course, in life, it's not always that linear, all right? It's not always that straightforward, but sometimes it is, and even more so when you're paid for performance. It's actually not, oh, if I double it, I make 15K. No, maybe you make 20, 25, 30, you know, because it's all on you. And I think that's the exciting thing. How did you find, I'd be interested to understand, Calum, how did you find, and also as well, I just want to say, I knew you were going to do really, really well. Should I say that or not? Don't know, but I knew it, because when I was on the coaching call, I remember, like, you know, we were running through a mock call or whatnot, and firstly you put your hand up and you said, I want to do it in front of everyone, and it was your second day on board, and I could just tell you were using the coaching, you were using everything, you were asking questions, you were making sure everything made sense, and I was just like, this guy's going to do really, really well. He's come in and he's gone, right, if I'm going to commit, I'm going to say at the end of the 180 days, at the end of however long this may be, I can look back and I go, do you know what, I actually gave everything. You know, and I think that's the important thing. Whenever you try anything in life, it's like, well, look, at least I can say when I finished it, I gave absolutely everything. Because if it still didn't work then, it's like, well, you know, but the reality is if you do that, it is going to work. Because there's probably guys that are inside doing half the work you are that are making loads of money. So if they're doing that with half, then you could do it. But coming on board, seeing the difference in sales process, seeing the difference in industry and wrapping your head around, I've gone from corporate and account manager to, like, you know, I've been told, like, it's a complete different world. How did you find the first the first month even, balancing it, the mock calls, the training and everything else?
Well, I mean, the reality of the situation was that I just had to do anything I could to make it work. Ultimately, yeah, it was difficult. I was traveling. I was, you know, 6:30 gym. Sometimes I had to travel to Manchester. Sometimes I had to travel to London. I was in the office, 9 till 5:30, sometimes till 6. Just every spare minute I just put into this. It's as simple as that. I was doing mock calls. I was going through the course content. If I was in the gym, I was listening to the course content. If I was doing anything, I'd have my headphones in, listening to sales calls, listening to the process, understanding absolutely everything. And yeah, the first month was it was amazing because it opened my eyes up, and I was like, fucking hell, I've learned more, within a month than I have in 2.5 years in corporate sales, like in terms of like how selling actually works. So I loved it from that sense, but from like a, physically, I put myself through it, and that's just the truth, because Jerry said this to me, and it stuck with me so much. You have to put absolutely everything into it, right? And you won't get the results straight away, because everything's a bit delayed, and that's exactly what it was. I went through the trenches, staying up 2 a.m, waking up at 6:30, going to the gym, doing it on repeat, in order to achieve what I wanted to achieve. And then, at the end of December, that was 5K, and I was like, fucking hell, I've done that. And then in January, fucking hell. And that was all coming from essentially how I operated in November and how I operated in October as well. And I'm so fucking glad I did. And now it will be so easy for me to take the foot off the gas and be like, I've done this now. I can go back, I can chill a bit, but absolutely not. Because if I can achieve that from nothing, now I have the foundations, I have the network, I have the skill set. If I really knuckle down now, in 2 months' time, where the fuck could I be? And I guess that's what we're going to find out, right?
Absolutely. Well, no, tell me about it. I'm very excited to see where you are there. And that's why I said, look, we'll do another one of these in the next 60, 90 days, I'm sure of it. But I think I wanted to sort of more have this chat because it just gives people a real life insight as to like, this is how you, look, doing it alongside is how we always advise and we work with people to do so. Obviously, it makes it a lot harder, but what it means is there can be no, it's risky. It's going to be, like all of it. No. The only reason you won't do it is because you are happy to keep operating at the standard of making 3, 4, 5, 6K a month.
I mean, it's so true, because ultimately, for anyone that's watching this, that's in corporate sales, that's considering coming on board, you are sat there thinking, I could be doing more. I guarantee it, because you are. And the question you've got to ask yourself is, why aren't you? And it will be whatever it is. The fear of failing, it being too risky, losing everything. But ultimately, like, why would you put that in the way of getting to where you ultimately believe you can get to?
Why weren't you? Like, when you were sort of having those conversations with yourself, like, what was the thing for so long? Because maybe people can even resonate with that. Like, what was the thing where you were like, oh, well, maybe you've just realised it more recently, where it's, oh, shit, like, that's what I was hanging on to.
Such a good question.
Got me thinking now.
I just knew genuinely that I could do more, and I just knew, the belief that I had in myself was ridiculous, and that belief would have carried me really far in the job I was in. And it's all about the vehicle, and I knew if I can do this in this vehicle, imagine, and this vehicle's like, a Range Rover, imagine what I could do in an SVJ.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, it's just literally as simple as that. And it was just like, I need to give it a try. And this is now an opportunity that's presented itself that I can get into that vehicle. So why the hell would I not take it? Because the truth of the matter is, corporate sales is not going anywhere. And it's not. It's literally not. And all of my experience and everything that I've done is going to be sedimented within corporate sales. So if I did want to go back, I could, but that's not even on my mind anymore, because that's not the world that I'm living in, because I've seen what is capable and what I can achieve if I put everything into this. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, because I think you can almost sort of, I certainly did it, when you look at these other opportunities and whatnot, in terms of like progressing yourself and leveling up and getting to the next level and living the life that you want, you can say those things in your head where it sort of makes you feel like, okay, for not giving it a try, like e-commerce. Oh, you know, but it's marketing and I can't be asked for that, it's saturated, even though that's a limiting belief, nothing's saturated. Amazon FBA, the same. Trading, oh, I've been around for ages, or like you need loads of money to make it work. Property, need loads of money to make it work, and all the legalities. And the thing is, if you have corporate sales experience and you're looking at remote sales, there is nothing that you can say, because it is literally the perfect opportunity presented in front of you. And it's almost like, right, if you're not going to take that, you're never going to take anything in life. And I'm specifically obviously talking to corporate sales guys, because it's literally your golden ticket to get you to where you want to be. Is it difficult? Is it hard? Is it fucking going to require a lot of hours? Of course it is. So is becoming a professional footballer. So is getting a six-pack. Of course it is. You know, if it was easy, everyone would do it. And that's why it's so good to have it, because no one could do it. But it's true. It's like there is no... I remember having that conversation with myself. I was like, right, I actually can't say this to this opportunity. And if I say no to this one, there is going to be nothing I see in my entire life that I will go for. Because it's almost like, well, I'm never going to be happy. You know, it's almost, you know, it's one of those things. Did you relate to that?
1,000,000%. Like, I knew it was going to be difficult. But at the end of the day, I knew it was, if I said no to this, it's the golden ticket. If I said no to this, I'd say no to everything. And I'd be in the exact same space. And I would always be having that itch, knowing that I could be doing something more, knowing that this wasn't going to give me the ultimate freedom. Maybe it would when I'm fucking 45. But, you know, it was never going to give me that ultimate freedom. So, yeah, I mean, to corporate sales guys, I was there. I know exactly how they feel, and I know the skepticism, and I know you feel comfortable, and I know you've got, you know, your mortgage, I know you've got your car payment, I know you're doing all this, but ultimately, like, there's no reason you can't give everything to this and see what you can actually achieve within the space of fucking 3 months if you put everything into it.
Can't believe you're 3 months as well. You know, it's 90 days. You know, from joining, not from even taking calls, from like joining and knowing nothing.
90 days, and again, I took a while to land my first offer as well. I was actually, again, you know, the limiting beliefs were keeping me from getting an offer, thinking I'm not sure the skill set's there yet.
Exactly, it's all of these things. And I think for you now, being at the sort of 90-day mark and everything else, where, from a capital closer standpoint, you came to the conclusion, remote sales is for me, I'm a corporate sales guy. What, from a capital closer point of view, made you go, do you know what, I've agreed that I want to get into remote sales, but I'm now going to invest in myself. I'm going to come on board in capital closer, and I'm going to go down the route. So I'm not just going to do it myself, I'm actually going to go down this door. And then on top of that, I suppose from an experience standpoint, what do you think, I mean, you're only 90 days in, but capital closer has been able to do for you specifically in terms of like helping you and your experience as a whole?
Well, firstly, just the actual training and the skill set that you will learn from this mentorship is ridiculous. What I am able to do now, I never thought I would be able to do, you know, 90 days ago, throughout my entire life, right? I just didn't even know this skill set was a thing, and the way you teach it, the way you come across, the way that the coaches inside, you know, take you through the training, take you through everything. I mean, that's worth its weight in gold anyway. And then we're talking about the opportunities, the direct placement opportunities, how I've even landed that offer, how I've got in front of the right people, the network of people that you've got into. A massive part of it is the fact that you are surrounded with people doing the exact same thing as you. And these are all people that have that exact same mindset, who are going to achieve massive, massive things. And you're in that circle now. You are now in that whole community, that bubble. And, you know, people want you to succeed. People want to succeed. They're bringing you on. They're telling you about new opportunities. You're just part of it. So you really can't not succeed if you're going to give everything into it, if that makes sense. And that's genuinely the biggest part. It's the opportunity. It's being around like-minded individuals doing the exact same things that know it's possible. And you're not fucking sat there at your corporate job with people telling you, you know, this is too good to be true. This is all this... You know, this is all that's out there. You're doing better than most. You know, every it's just the language that you use and everything that people say. It's just a completely different world, and that's what keeps you going. And yeah, the training and everything like that, the coaching calls, you're continuously getting better.
I was just looking to see if I could figure out where, because I think it'd be quite interesting to share with people. You did 8.9k in straight commissions last month on the side of your account manager role. Now, 8.9k. I mean, if you're making that in your corporate sales role, I mean, I think a lot of people would be going, "Wow, like you're a top biller, like you're the top dog." I mean, would that be sort of fair to say within a company that you're in, or your experience, or?
100%. 8.9k is huge. I mean, my first big commission slip that I got in my corporate role, after everything, my tax, my student loan, my national insurance, I was left with 5.8k in the comms, and that was huge. Celebrated. Oh my god, made it as my first big commission slip. And now that's fucking, what even is that?
Minimum wage.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, what even is that? Like, 8.9k, I was fucking gutted last month. I was absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted. I could have, gutted.
Did you exactly? You would be the top biller. You'd be the top jumping around in corporate sales. 8.9k. You're a big dog for last month in take-home commissions. Do you know where you finished last month in Capital Closer leaderboard?
Oh, I don't even want to know. Honking.
You finished 23rd.
Yeah, no, it's a joke.
You finished 23rd, and you're actually in League Two. Out of the leagues we rank, Prem, Championship League, you were in League Two.
I know, shocking, isn't it?
But like, again, from a standards point of view, like, which league do you want to be playing in? Do you want to play in Sunday League and be the top goal scorer, or do you want to be?
If I'm in League Two now and I'm going to Miami, operating with these people, making 8.9k, what fucking league was I in before?
Hey, you were in. I'm not even going to say it.
You know what I mean? It comes down to that, like, what even league was I in before? And yeah, it just is the standards. And yeah, I mean, the standards I hold myself to now, this month's got to be huge. The next month's got to be bigger. The month after that's going to be even bigger.
But I think that's exciting to share to people, because we'll be speaking again, and it's great to know that, for transparency for everyone. I mean, one of the roles Calum is on, obviously he landed it through one of the ways inside Capital Closer. We got recruiters that we pay a lot of money to, so he was able to land it that way. And the other one, funnily enough, is direct placement from sales leaders, our separate business where we build and scale a lot of the sales teams within the online education space, whether it be property offers, trading, e-commerce, or B2B services as well, whether it be algorithms and whatnot. Obviously, we need to hire sales reps for that. We only exclusively will always hire from Capital Closer, and one of the partners we've taken on board, we've brought Calum on as the main sales rep, just due to how he operates and standards and everything else. So, coming into Feb now, March and April, honestly, and I think that's the exciting thing when you're in something where you're paid for performance, you can actually set targets and pace and project numbers, and you actually know that, oh, this can happen and will happen, rather than like this just like grey area of like, oh, will this happen? Will this job be pulled and they'll bring in an internal consultant? Should I even put it on my projections? You can actually go, no, there's sales reps on in making X amount. If I have his close rate, his show rate, his AOV, his cash per call, cash per booking, I will make that and reverse engineer. What's the plan? Feb, March, April, and just throughout the year, income, commissions. Are you staying in the UK? What's the plan?
Wow, so another opportunity that I'm on at the moment, already in April, I'm going back out to Miami on one of the masterminds with a couple of with the new offer owner that I'll be working with. Definitely next month I won't be in the UK. I think I was talking to Jerry, maybe going to Cape Town, staying there for a couple of weeks. Definitely go to America. It's a massive part of it, right? Is I never wanted to do the classic go traveling after university with all of your savings with a backpack going through hostels, right? Never me. My whole thought process was I'm going to wait until I get money and I'm able to work semi-remotely and then be able to do it properly. And that's exactly what I've been able to achieve now. It's exactly what I'm planning on doing. So yeah, we're going to Cape Town, probably Central America, probably back into the States again, especially into Miami. We'll obviously touch on Southeast Asia as it goes by. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, the opportunities are completely endless. But this month, I'm knuckling down on these offers, getting into a routine, going to finish on some serious numbers. Next month, we're going to be relocating, and then I'll be going back out to Miami, of course. And then, yeah, the rest of the year is undecided, but it'll be more of the same, bigger, better. I'll be going on one of these top performance trips. You can hear me say that now. And And yeah, no, 100%. I mean, that's kind of what the rest of the year looks like. And I suppose from a commission standpoint, income standpoint, I mean, you're only as good as your last month, right? So that's exactly what it is. So I'm literally just getting better every single month. That's the standard. That's how I hold myself to. It's what everyone inside holds themselves to, and that's what will happen.
Just wanted to quickly share this with people as well, just for a little bit of proof, because I think it'd be good to give them a bit of context. Unfortunately, Jerry didn't record the call, you and him, but this was Cal in halfway through Jan, just so you guys can see. I mean, just basically putting in a message. He landed back from being in Miami and whatnot. There's Billy, one of the other guys from Capital Closer, and like you can actually see. I mean, this was obviously in a fancy, nice little restaurant, living it up out in Miami, like literally still in the just absolute animal, top of the leaderboard, 73,000. So what?
That was midway through Jan, yeah.
So you were on 7,300 in comms in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Mad. What's going on there?
The way we operated, I'm not joking. So anything that we needed, we would have an assistant called Madison, who was Camilla's assistant, who was the offer owner. And she would honestly, like, we were feeling tired, we were feeling drained, they just get us an IV drip. Which was, yeah, so important. And yeah, like I said, we ate so healthy, we were seriously locked in. We had a sauna in there, sauna every single day. It was a rigorous schedule. And yeah, as we operated, and what we did is we worked really hard. We made the money we were meant to make, and then, you know, we'd get rewarded on the back end of it, and we play hard. And that's exactly kind of just what this life is, right? Exactly what it's going to look like. And it just goes to show, like, I genuinely just don't even have the words to explain it. 3 months ago, if you had told me that was possible, I would have told you to fuck off and not ever talk to me again, genuinely. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Jerry was to say that on the call, it would be game over, it'd be curtains. But it genuinely is possible, and that's scratching the surface, if I'm being completely honest. Genuinely scratching the surface. So what's to come, so excited. You know, you've been a huge part of that. The coaches have been a huge part of that. I mean, Jerry, trust this guy with my life now. Yeah, I love this guy, and he's just one of the coaches that are on the inside, and they're all phenomenal, and they're there to support you. And yeah, Christ, if you give everything into it, you get out what you put in. I just can't stress that enough. You genuinely do. If you want to operate like the top 1%, you'll live like the top 1%. It's just true.
Yeah, quite literally. Well, look, Big Dog, been an absolute pleasure. We'll rerun this in 60, 90 days, I'm sure, once 20 is smashed absolutely to smithereens. Maybe you'll be out in Cape Town at the time of recording that one, so we'll see. But been a pleasure as always. Excited to work together on the internal sales teams and absolutely smash it on that exact offer. And yeah, we'll chat very soon.
Awesome.
All the best, bro. Take care.